And then you focus on their face, not you. Make your cameras face your people behind you. The judgment remains as it was. You saw I had already signed and I had already indicated the quorum. So I will read the determination of the court on the 3 counts. On count number 1 of prohibited gathering, the accused persons, I start. The accused persons were aware of the COVID-19 restrictions but proceeded to organize demonstrations despite there being other ways of presenting their grievances. The accused persons denied having gathered at Central Point at the time of their arrest. From their evidence, it seems that each and every one of them was arrested from a different place. They were not all arrested while they were together. That's from their evidence. The prosecution called one witness, and from his testimony, he was in the office when the suspects were taken to him by Inspector Tirus. They said Inspector Tirus, however, never testified. However, from the testimony of the accused persons hearing, they all admitted being members of different civil societies apart from the 6th accused person, and having resolved to meet or converge and present their petition to the relevant or concerned authorities. Their witness number 8, defense witness number 8, also admitted to having met some of the accused persons along the way on their way to post office at Huduma Center, where they were to meet. He stated that on their way, Nato and Otieno were then arrested, but he wasn't arrested. The 2 accused persons, that is Nato, who testified as DW4, and Otieno, who testified as DW5, in their defense, stated that they were not arrested together. They stated that each one of them was arrested alone and in company, and not in company of the other. Their testimony, therefore, contradicted that one of DW8, and therefore difficult to understand who among them is telling the truth. The accused persons, all of them, indicated that they were each arrested alone and that they were not together, and each one of them taken to police station alone. DW1, who is Felix Otieno, indicated that he found the second accused person, who is Lucas Cosmas, already at the police station, and that DW3, Tirus Mukami, found the 2 at the police station. Inasmuch as the allegation might be true, I find it difficult to believe their line of defense to the effect that the police arrested them separately, individually, and then took them to the police station. How come the police managed to identify them as those who were going to engage in demonstration and arrested them? How come there was no other member of the public who was arrested apart from those who are going to participate in it, as part of those who are going to participate in the demonstration? The accused persons admitted that indeed on the day they were arrested, they had planned to participate in demonstration, but they had not converged. However, the evidence on record is clear beyond doubt that the accused persons had organized demonstrations and invited over 20 people, as they admitted, and they were, however, dispersed by the police officers. The defense by the accused person is full of contradictions. While some indicated that they were to converge at Makadara grounds, some indicated they were to meet at Huduma Center, and others indicated they were to meet at Treasury Square. It is therefore not clear where exactly the accused persons had planned to meet, and these contradictions cast doubt as to the truthfulness and credibility of their testimony. I find the argument by the defense that the prosecution evidence were pure hearsay and that the accused persons did not engage in prohibited gathering unconvincing, because even DW7, who is I think Khalifa, yes, Khalifa or Khalifa, DW7, admitted that there were demonstrations and fracas and tear gas had to be used to disperse the crowd. There must have been a gathering which prompted the police to disperse the crowd and even use tear gas. From the evidence, the gathering had not been allowed, as all gatherings during the period in question had been prohibited. The accused persons were therefore not supposed to have any gathering, irrespective of the grievances that they had. The accused persons were aware of COVID-19 restrictions, but proceeded to organize demonstrations and engage in prohibited gathering, despite there being other ways of presenting their grievances. I find them guilty of engaging in a prohibited gathering, contrary to Rule 7.1, as well with Rule 11 of the Public Health COVID-19 Restriction of Movement and Persons Rules. In respect to Count 2, where the accused persons were charged with failure to keep social or physical distance, DW1 and 7. DW1 is the first accused, 7 was DW7 is testified that the accused persons were keeping social distance and that they had not gathered when they were arrested. DW1 is the first accused in his testimony again, testified that the accused persons were keeping social distance while peacefully demonstrating. But for their actions of demonstrating without getting permission and during restrictions, which then resulted into fracas, clearly shows that there was no order. In such situations and prevailing circumstances, keeping physical distance is a pipe dream. The accused persons organized demonstration, which contravened Rule 6.1, and because of the fracas that emanated therein, there is likely to have not been any physical distance kept. I find them guilty of the offense of failure to maintain physical distance of not less than 1 meter from another person in a public place, contrary to Rule 6.1a, as read with Rule 11 of the Public Health Rules. In respect to Count 3, the accused persons were charged with the offense of failure to wear masks. The prosecution witness testified that the accused persons were not wearing face masks when they were arrested. The accused person stated that they were in masks but did not have the masks in court. It was incumbent upon the prosecution to prove this charge beyond reasonable doubt, not merely cast aspersions. The burden of proof is always with the prosecution. There was no evidence that the accused persons failed to wear a face mask or in a public place. The prosecution, therefore, did not prove this charge. In conclusion, I find that the evidence by the prosecution to be insufficient to sustain conviction on count number 3. It's my finding that the accused persons are not guilty in respect to count number 3. However, as for count number 1 and 2, same were proved beyond reasonable doubt. I find the accused persons guilty and convict them under Section 215 of the CPC as charged.
First and foremost, I'm remorseful. Secondly, I'm a sole breadwinner. My family depend on me. Thirdly, kindly consider our situation. We are not criminals. We were doing public interest. So, if you can be lenient, you can consider probation. That's all we want.
Accused also first offenders. They have never had any run-ins with police on any related offense. This court has also taken note that even from the facts given in the prosecution, it was just by coincidence of the fact they were found in that. We really wish for lenience on the part of the court when sentencing the accused persons for the fact that they were championing for a cause, a social justice theme in the society. We are not privy to the kind of circumstances they were in. However, we believe that we are in a society where we should celebrate all those persons who stand for the weak in the society. On that, Your Honor, we are humbly requesting that you consider the fact that they are very young. Some of them have very young families and young wives at home, and the sole breadwinners. That's all, Your Honor.
Sentencing on 21st of February. Upon